Our homestead can produce most of the food that we need. We raise vegetables in our garden, we have fruit trees, and we raise probably more meat than we could ever eat. We've got cattle, we've got chickens. But there are times when you're going to want something sweet. And I had thought about getting some honeybees. It would help pollinate my garden and produce the honey, which is the sweetness that we would need. But I'm not really fond of insects. Now, while I'm pretty sure that I could get over that, I found a much better way to produce the sweet stuff that we need. Maple syrup turned out to be a whole lot easier. And every year since we've started, we've found a way to improve our processes and make it even easier. Years ago, I planted some maple trees on our property, and since then I've planted even more. Maple trees grow actually pretty fast, and after a while I realized I probably have enough maple trees to make maple syrup. The first time we tried it, we didn't have any special equipment. We cooked our sap down in a roasting pan in the garage. It took a long time, it made a lot of steam, and it definitely wasn't the most efficient way. But it worked. And after we got that first taste of our own maple syrup, we decided right then and there that this is something that we want to continue to do. And here's something that most people don't know. It takes 40 gallons of sap from a maple tree to make 1 gallon of maple syrup, which is why the boiling process is so important. If we boiled it down in our kitchen, all the steam would cause a sticky mess on our ceiling, and it would just be impossible to clean up. So that wasn't an option. So as we started to grow, we knew we needed to have a better process. And we knew that cooking it in the garage was just not going to get it. We did a little research and found other ways to do it. So Paul built an outdoor stove out of cinder blocks right on the bare ground. The first year that he did it, it took a whole afternoon just to build the stove. We learned a whole lot that year, and it actually worked pretty well. But the chimney cracked, and to be totally honest, it wasn't very pretty. And while that wasn't really important, because we never really intended it to be a permanent thing, we planned on putting it up and then taking it back down. We did have an end result of a whole bunch of cracked and broken cinder blocks that have absolutely no purpose. And it did take up a lot of Paul's time, an afternoon to build that stove and another afternoon to take it back down. But even so, the next year we built the same kind of stove with a few modifications. And again, we had some more cracked and broken cinder blocks. We've got quite a pile right now that we really need to do something with. So here's the thing, when you're running a really hot stove, when you're trying to bring all of that sap up to boil, that's the kind of heat that's really hard on cinder blocks. So after just 2 years of doing that, we decided that we needed to find a better way. So this year we decided to try a barrel stove. It seemed like an inexpensive alternative, and I was able to find a used one that was in good condition, and it was cheap. Another thing that I really like about the barrel stove is that it isn't permanent. We wanted something that we could wheel out when it was time to boil the sap, use it during the syrup season, and then put it away in storage until next year. So we modified the barrel stove so that it would hold my syrup pan. Okay, so we've put 2 or 3 inches of sand in the bottom of the barrel just to keep it from burning through. So we just started up the barrel stove for the first time for the first cook this year. And honestly, it's worked really well, like most things on a homestead. But once you start using something, you figure out pretty quickly what works and what needs to be improved. This stove is made from a 35-gallon barrel, and it does a really good job keeping the fire close to the pan so that the sap boils really well. But because the barrel stove is smaller, we do have to mind the fire a little more closely than we'd like to. And we do have to add wood fairly frequently just to keep the heat up. We also have to remove the ash every day because there isn't a lot of room inside the stove for wood and ash. Another thing that we've discovered, and that's that the airflow wasn't quite enough to keep the fire hot. We put a small fan in front of the door of the stove, and it helped to push more air in and keep that fire burning really hot. That small change made a big difference and helped to keep the sap boiling faster. Sometimes on a homestead, it's not the big changes, it's the small adjustments that you make that matter most. And even though this worked really well, we already know one thing we'll probably be changing for next year. Instead of using this small 35-gallon barrel, we're probably going to move up to a 50-gallon barrel. A larger stove will probably give us more room for wood and have it so that we don't have to clean out the ash every day. But it'll still be able to keep the fire close to the bottom of the pan so that we can keep boiling as we need it to. And the nice thing about making that change, these barrels are pretty inexpensive, so we'll be able to swap out the parts for the door and the chimney and cut a new hole in the side of a barrel. We've already done it once, so it'll be pretty simple the second time. And probably for $10, maybe $15, we'll be able to upgrade this to a larger stove. So even through all these upgrades, it'll still be pretty affordable next year. And we did even discuss getting a larger barrel and possibly another pan so that maybe we could have 2 stoves going at the same time to help reduce the amount of time that it takes for us to boil down all that sap. Making maple syrup on a homestead is definitely a learning process. And every year we try something different, little upgrades, and every year we learn something new. But you know, that's what makes this so rewarding, because in the end, the syrup didn't come from the store. It came from our own farm, from trees that I planted myself on our own property. And yeah, it was a little bit of work tapping the trees, collecting the sap, and then boiling it down. A whole lot of boiling it down. It still was very rewarding, and it really didn't cost us much. And honestly, this might be one of the best sweet treats a homestead can make. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll also put links in the description of any of the supplies that I've used in case you do decide that this is something that you want to do on your own farm or homestead. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing. I hope to see you again soon.